How's it going, guys? Like Coach said, I'm Will Lawhorn. I'm the run game coordinator, offensive line coach at Rockford University in Rockford, Illinois. I'm going to talk today about some of our zone techniques, how we teach off of it so we can teach each technique and go from there. So a little bit about us. Our offense, we're a pre-snap RPO offense. If you allow us to play on the perimeter, we're gonna. The minute you start giving us even numbers, you start capping receivers, things like that, we'll run the ball. The minute you walk safeties down, start going one high, cover zero, that's when we'll take our play action shots. Now, everything for us has answers built in. So if we're gonna take a shot, we'll have a shark route, a swing, some sort of flat to make sure we're getting the ball to the quarterback's hands. Because most times when you're walking those guys down, going cover one, cover zero, cover three, things like that, you bring a lot more guys than we can block, okay? Like I said, zone run scheme, progression pass game, we do what our kids can do. We're a zone run scheme because we do what our kids are comfortable with doing and going from there. That's our offensive system. We're firm believers we're going to get the ball in our best players' hands. We had a receiver who through the regular season led the nation in every single statistic that a receiver could lead the nation in. So we're going to get the ball in his hands. He's special. That's where he's going to be. He's going to be in every single one of our progressions. We graduated a running back who was a really good receiving running back, really good. He had really good vision. He was a one cut kind of guy. So we're going to get him in every progression. So that's what that is. Our philosophy and mission statement, plain and simple, we want to be the most physical and toughest unit in the NAC. We're firm believers. The success of the whole unit relies on us. If we can't protect the quarterback, we're not getting the pass off, plain and simple. If we can't create running lanes for the running back, we're going to have a very long day. We want to use the run to set up the pass, and that weighs on our shoulders. So everything starts up with us. Physicality and toughness, I'm a firm believer, those are kind of general terms that kind of just get thrown around, so we define them. Physicality equals force. Force equals mass times acceleration. The faster you play, the more physical you're going to be, okay? When we talk about toughness, we talk about being able to get the job done no matter what the circumstances are. It doesn't matter what the guy across from me does, I have a job that I have to do, plain and simple. One thing we talked about this fall, there shouldn't be excuses anymore. The only thing we care about is results. So the fundamentals of offensive line play for us, I think I'd be doing you guys a disservice if we didn't talk about that. We've got 4 SSPS. Okay, the guys are working on coming up with an acronym for that. It's what they want to do. Stance, steps, posture, and strike. Everything we do is going to revolve around those 4 fundamentals. Stance, steps, posture, and strike. If something goes wrong in a play, we're going to be able to relate it back to one of those 4 things. So stance, stance, I'm a firm believer that's something you have to work almost every single day, especially in the off season. It literally says in the Bible, don't build on sand or your house will wash away, okay? Your stance is your foundation. If you're building on sand with a bad stance, you're in trouble, okay? So we talk about with stance, we generally let the guys pick if you want to go into 2-point or a 3-point because it's their technique, they have to own it. Now we talk about comfort. Comfort is king, but I have to be functional. So if you want to go into 2-point, that's fine. I'm a 3-point stance guy just because I'm a firm believer in pad level, getting my chin below the guy I'm supposed to block's chin. But a lot of our kids have played football. 99% of our kids have played football before they come to us. So we're going to let them do what they're comfortable with. The 4 things we're looking for, I got to create a triangle with my lower body. My toes got to be at 11 and 1, okay? So I'm opening up the hinge joint and forcing myself to play on my insteps. We always teach a toe-to-heel stagger for everyone except centers. The reason we do that is so now we can mix and match guys if we need to. We've only got, right now we've got 8 offensive linemen in the program, so a lot of guys play a lot of different positions for us, okay? And then we always talk about a forward chest, not a down chest. So I want my head above my bust, but I want my chest forward, not backwards. I want to tuck my lats into the back pocket and make my chest as big as possible. Okay, like I said, with a 2-point or a 3-point, we let them pick. Biggest thing, eyes have to be up and our knees, nose, and toes have to be in a straight line. Steps, biggest thing with steps is force through the ground. Okay, we have to drive out of our backside hip and backside knee. One thing we talk a lot about the guys with is mental weight. All right, so if you're dry blocking a 3 technique and you're a right guard on inside zone going to the right, you got to dry block him, drive out of that, put my mental weight on my inside leg or backside leg. okay? Advance your stance through 3 steps. So your pad level should not change through your 3 steps, okay? Step on the toes. You know, I'm a big believer in just giving the guys visual cues instead of, you know, take a 6-inch step here, things like that, because there's not a ruler out there on the football field. So when I'm stepping, I should be trying to step on my toes, replace my heel with my toes. And one thing I skipped over is just own your angle of departure. You know, one thing with steps, we can dictate how the defense lines up with, you know, our splits, motions, things like that. But you've always got to own your angle. Take the best angle that's going to get you to where you need to be to your aiming points on each block. Posture. Okay, when we talk posture, it's the position of our body or the arrangement of our limbs, head, arms, legs, everything, very, very general, okay? Biggest things is these nose and toes need to be in a straight line. We always talk about it 345s. It starts in our stance. We should create 345-degree angles with our ankles, knees, and hips, okay? From there, we talk about pad level when we talk about posture. When we talk about pad level, I want my eyes on his nose. My eyes on his nose, okay? Now, if I have a 6'6" tackle, which I don't have any of those right now, but if you have a 6'6" tackle, okay, it's going to be really hard for him to get below a 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" defensive end, okay, because that guy's playing with the same posture that you're going to play with. All right, so we talk about keeping those 345s through the rep, all right, through the rep. So this is how we drill posture. The first thing we're going to do is strain drill. So what we're going to have 2 guys with agility bags. They're going to be shoulder to shoulder, and then I'll have the guys just get fitted up. From there, first whistle, they should be chopping their feet and trying to drive. That's one thing our guys got to get a lot better at. The defensive guys you'll see in this film kind of just stand there and watch. It's one thing we got to get a little better at. You're going to try to drive them. It's 2 guys versus 1. You shouldn't be able to move him, okay? Second whistle, we should accelerate our feet and work through. You can see 72 does a pretty good job here. He loses his base a little bit, and then we finish on the rep. Now we'll go to the next rep, 76 right here. I already don't like it. My eyes are down. My head is in the block. Now he peeks it out. He peeks it out. He's not doing a great job of stepping on his toes. And then we go from there. Now there is a such thing as being a little too wide. Towards the end of the rep, you watch number 52, he probably gets a little too wide with his base. He starts narrow, he widens back out, he gets a little too wide. Then we'll progress it to fit and finish drill. So with fit and finish drill, now it's 1 versus 1. Now D linemen, as much as I would like them to, not going to just stand right in front of you and let them block you. They're going to try to escape. So now we'll have that defender holding the bag. He's going to work side to side like your D lineman trying to escape. So we should see you high hip in, keep my elbows tight, which we'll talk about in a minute, and we're from there. Here's our guys doing it. If I watch 68 right here, his base gets way too narrow. He's playing on his tiptoes, not his insteps. 56 does a little bit better job here.